Hi foodies, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making a small but delicious batch of mac and cheese. This is my white mac and cheese and I'm going to be using Cavatappi pasta. It's a really nice pasta and this is just saucy and good. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the pasta. I'm using Cavatappi today and what I saw on the package was Scooby-Doo. I have no idea why it says Scooby-Doo on the packaging, but this is Cavatappi pasta and it is kind of like elbow pasta, but it's like a corkscrew, kind of spiral shape. It's really nice because it holds on to sauce. Really delicious. So of course we need to boil the pasta. So this is some boiling water. I have some salt in there and you're going to cook this for 2 minutes, less than what the packaging suggests. The reason we want to do that is because we're going to finish this in the oven and the oven is going to complete that cooking. We want it to be a little firm. So drain off all that liquid and then we're going to be tossing this with some butter, and that just helps to prevent the pasta pieces from sticking to each other. So toss it with the butter and then set it aside because we need to make that delicious cheese sauce. For the cheese sauce over medium heat, I'm going to start with some unsalted butter. I like unsalted butter because then you can monitor how much salt goes in the sauce. So once this melts, we're going to add the flour because we're making a roux and this is going to thicken up our sauce. So the melted butter, and it's over low to medium heat. Then we will add the flour. Now, once you start adding that flour, I want you to start whisking, okay? And you're just gonna whisk and continue whisking because we want to prevent any lumps from forming. So just keep whisking everything and then we're gonna get a smooth paste. And you want to cook this for at least a minute just to get rid of that starchy flour taste. Then I'm going to add my heavy cream and milk. So this was warmed for a bit because it's just easier to add it that way. So I'm just going to stir it in a little at a time and just make sure you move that wrist, guys. Keep whisking because if you don't, it's going to lump up. So you want to keep whisking vigorously as you add the milk and the cream. If you're using only cream, just add it just the same and keep whisking just to prevent the lumps from forming. It's gonna thicken up fast, so keep adding your liquid and keep whisking. Keep whisking over that low to medium heat, and then once the sauce gets nice and thick, what you're going to do is just check it out to see if it's thick enough. So just trace a line right through on your spatula or on a wooden spoon, and then once you push through like this and the line remains visible, that means your sauce is good to go. So now we can add the seasonings. So I have some onion powder, garlic powder, mustard powder, white pepper, and a little paprika. I'm not going too hard with the paprika because I don't want this to be super bright, okay, because it's white macaroni and cheese, and I'm using white pepper as well. So for the salt, go ahead and add a little to taste. Don't overdo it because the brand of cheese you're using might be super salty, so be careful with that. You can add more salt later if you need to. And look at that, guys, it is so creamy. If you feel like it's a bit too thick for you, you can go ahead and add just a little bit more milk or cream and whisk it in while you're adding it in, okay? So we have our basic white sauce here, but we need to add some cheese. So now we're gonna go in with the cheese a little at a time. I'm using a mixture of cheese. So it's white cheddar, there's some Havarti, there's some Gouda, and you can use Gruyere if you want to. So no yellow cheddar today, all right? So we're just gonna whisk that in a little at a time, and you can do this with the heat turned completely off, because the heat of that liquid is gonna melt the cheese once we whisk it in. Or or you can do it over very low heat. I also added a little mozzarella cheese to the mixture of cheeses, so it will have just a little bit of stretch in there. I love to have that in the cheese sauce, but of course, if you want to keep it basic, you can just use white cheddar if that's what you have at home. Once all the cheeses are melted, then we will stir in that pasta. So this is the pasta that was drained, tossed with the butter. We're just gonna toss everything together, and I did taste the sauce. It didn't need any more salt, so we're good to go. Toss everything, and then we're just gonna put this in the baking dish. Remember that today we're making a small batch, so you don't need a huge dish. This dish was just a little bit too small, but I made it work because I just didn't want to have to use two dishes. So this is my Le Creuset baking dish, and it did, the pasta did come up a bit too high, but as I said, I didn't want to have to put it in two dishes. So I put some pasta in there, and then I sprinkle in some mozzarella and Monterey Jack cheese. Then I layer on some more pasta, and then I'll top it off with more mozzarella and jack cheese. You don't have to layer it if you don't want to. So after we top this off, we're going to bake this in the oven at 355 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. We want it to be bubbly and we want it to be brown. Just remember that it's white mac and cheese, so you're going to get a delicate color like this. It won't be super bright and orange, okay, because we didn't use our yellow cheddar. But guys, look at that gorgeous mac and cheese. It is so good. It smells amazing, and look at that. Beautiful. Now it's usually best to let it stand for a little bit before you scoop it up, but I just wanted to show you guys inside. It's very saucy and nice. If you don't want your mac and cheese super saucy, you can always use less sauce. As I always say, your kitchen, your rules. If you want the mac and cheese to be drier than this, you can use less sauce, okay? But just remember that when you reheat mac and cheese, if you don't have enough sauce in there, then it's gonna dry out completely. So I find that this is a good texture. So that's it, guys, our super delicious white mac and cheese. I want you to check the description box below the video for the list of ingredients. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.